Hi, welcome back to Digital Learning. I'm Connie Colosi, the Director of Media, Text, and Digital Learning, and I have with me today my colleague, Sarah Trulson, who is the Project Coordinator for Digital Learning, and we are talking about our recent visit to the Future of Educational Technology Conference, FETC, which took place in January of 2018, and our visit there. So we did have, Sarah, an opportunity to meet with vendors, to hear a lot of guest speakers. We had a keynote speaker that we really enjoyed, but then we also had an opportunity to present some of the things that are going on here in our district. And our project coordinator for library media, Laura Woods, did a presentation, and myself and Kevin Hagerbrook, who is now in our TIS department, had an opportunity to present about a project that we're really excited about, a personalized learner pathway. And we have some video of Kevin presenting, so let's take a look.
This platform is actually created on Office 365. So we had this grand idea that we can develop a SharePoint site. So we actually took a SharePoint site within Office 365 because everyone was accessing Office 365. We thought it would be a great idea. Well, it was a great idea, and it is a great idea, but it requires so much development. So what we decided to do is actually start from scratch. So we kind of took a blank slate, we created a site collection, and we worked with partnerships with our CAD program, and we just started coding. And so initially, we just started coding using HTML, JavaScripting, C#, ASP.NET, JSON, jQuery, and the list continues to go on. And then the back end for SharePoint, and then the front end for SharePoint. So that's how we started. So it was not an easy task. One of the things that I thought was significant, coming from an instructional perspective, we realized that as far as trying to get resources were difficult within themselves, but then getting the resources to the students. So being an instructional coach, we were able to gather resources, and we were able to use either Moodle or some sort of platform to give those to teachers. But how do we do that and give that to students? It was not an easy task, but Safari was the solution. They made it very easy for us to gather resources. Not only was it easy, but they provided us with vetted resources. So if you know anything as an instructional person, going to get resources sounds good, but you have YouTube issue, and like I tell people, you get the YouTube, then you have the commercials. And for me, I always got the old guy that was taking testosterone stuff or whatever. So it was frustrating. So high school kids can kind of maneuver around it, but what do I tell an elementary school student that sees that? And so with Safari, it took out commercials, it took out those side ads, and you could customize YouTube, and that was perfect. But the other great thing was, I don't have to look everywhere for a great resource. I don't have to vet everything. I don't have to worry about profanity and things of that nature. And so Safari gave us thousands and thousands of content. And so what we did is we put everything on this particular page. So our focus, we're looking at students that were not proficient in, this is high school, so Algebra 1, so the FSA and ELA. So how do we address that? So what we did is we actually went here and we created or pulled student information. So for example, when you look at ELA, it tells us how they did on a reporting category. So a student can actually go through, look at the reporting category and say, hey, I'm not very efficient. I got 12 right out of 12, or I got 2 out of 12. Of course, Gruber here, he has like a 4.0 and he's applying to MIT, so he did pretty good. But for that student that did not do that well, they could look on this platform and they can start working. So we had this other bright idea. What about just creating one place where a student can go? And so the superintendent said, do kids really look at their grades? And I said, yes, I have proof. Every time I would walk into a classroom, and when a kid didn't want to work on a math assignment, where were they? They were looking at grades. They were looking, they were off focus. They were fussing with the teacher because they got a D on this assignment, or they were looking at this and looking at that. So we came up with an idea of providing everything about that student in one place. So not only do they have to go through focus or go through several different resources or go to a guidance counselor, if they sit down with a grandparent or a mother or a mentor, they can see exactly what they need. So we developed this site so a student can click on general information and it gives them everything they need to know. So we want to actually give them something that would be exciting. They click on ELA, they click on math. Well, college and career ready. I had a kid the other day, says, I didn't take an SAT, and he clicked on that and he says, oh, I took SAT. So they have SAT data, they have ACT data. So all this is real student information, industry certifications, advanced coursework. So this was just an added addition, but the real piece was, how do we get them to get to the resources? And so what they can do here is they can go through, look at the colors. The colors tell them that they're not on track or that they're missing some pieces. When you see green here, you did really good in that reporting category on FSA. If you see red, you didn't do very well. So just start anywhere. And so that's where a teacher can come in, and so a student clicks on a link and it takes them to Safari, and the way we're going to set it up is that it'll automatically log them in. So let me quickly log them in here. So this is Gruber.
And Gruber is one of the kid designers of this. And
Right.
so we had about 12 kids that actually got paid over the summer to work on this. So this is largely student developed.
Right, and so what happens is it takes them directly to that resource piece that was so difficult to get into the hands of the students. And so you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to vet it, because as a curriculum developer or writer, you really have to vet information. So this cuts your time in half when you have that resource. So we have, with this particular one, we're using just different things within Safari. With language arts, it's kind of difficult finding exactly what you need, so you can customize it. You can actually use your smart board to create a lesson. You can talk through it, save it, and upload it here. So you can actually personalize it for a substitute. You can put everything in there you want. And so what we did is we created a playlist. And so this playlist takes them to this particular standard and everything they need to know. So that entire gradual release process, we do that explicit piece. We do that together piece with them. And then at the end, we do a small assessment, which we're trying to automate at this time, but it takes work. So everything is here. So when they go home, when they go somewhere, a parent looks at it and sees that they're green or red or whatever the case may be, they have those resources available. And that's kind of, and once again, if we hit another Safari montage link, it gives us another setup. So all the setups are very similar, but the key was being able to have one spot where a student can access all information. Not only do that, but will that help them become proficient in whatever they're doing. And so this is how we create. So this is just one way we're using Safari montage. And at the end, the student also has the ability to go through and create a resume. So he can put in hobbies, what are they volunteering for Bright Futures, what are they doing, what type of work experience. And our end goal is that when they're done, they can actually print that out and take it with them. So this is kind of our vision of what we're doing here.
So the people that we presented to there were really excited about the project, and we are too. So to kind of wrap things up, we did go and have each of us sort of give a little report out while it was fresh in our mind. And so we have a little video of each of us doing that. Let's take a look.
First of all, we started off with Sir Ken Robinson and his wonderful presentation in the keynote, talking about the creativity that we need to continue to encourage in schools and in education in general, and his revitalization of education. So that was a great kickoff to set us off on our path. I've been to lots of creation kind of seminars, a lot of augmented reality and virtual reality, some new things with the iPads that we're going to take back, lots of new features that we have with our Nearpod and our Epson projectors and Epson products. So some of our regular customers that we use on a regular basis had some new things to take back as well. So that was good. A lot of the AR and VR we actually have access to, and it's free. There's some things already on our library media books. There's some apps that are already on and published in the schools that we just didn't know were there. So now I need to go figure out how to find them and what to use them with. some things that bring back for ELLs, bring things into some context for them, lots of new learning tools for the kids with learning disabilities or any kind of remediation that we need to do with them. So now I need to go back and actually figure out how to implement that in the schools and show the teachers how to use it.
I've seen all sorts of cool things. I've seen some cool robot gadgets and new ways we can get kids into STEM learning and really thinking about math and English in new ways. I saw a huge globe tent where you can sit inside it and watch 360 movies. It was awesome.
Yeah, like a portable planetarium.
Yes, I so want to buy one.
What can we go back and start working on right away?
Well, one of the things that I went to was a session called Generation Z. It's complicated, and our Gen Zers are all of our current kiddos and our early workforce. And it was interesting because they gave a lot of ideas and misconceptions that people have about our kiddos and what their thoughts are. And so for me, I'll be kind of thinking about some of the things I learned about them and how I can kind of tweak my thinking in how we talk to teachers about working with their kiddos.
I've been looking at a lot of things for makerspace, for modifying libraries, so that there are lots of wonderful seating areas and collaboration. And the maker things here have been phenomenal. There's a robot here that I would love to have, but probably won't because he's a little expensive. But there have been a lot of wonderful maker pieces that I can take back so that the librarians have some choices as to where they can find these kind of pieces as they modify their libraries.
So when we get back to work on Monday, what's one thing you can dive right into?
Well, actually, we are going to work with Stream, which is going to be a maker kit, and I'm building a training for my librarians so that they will be able to, in March, come to a training and get a brand new kit to add to all their maker spaces.
My first year at FETC, so it's really exciting. The expo hall is full of stuff. All of the different types of makerspace is a big movement. There's a lot of different things for makerspaces, Legos, robots, 3D printers. It's very exciting. We saw some very, very cool things from Smart, some new tools that are coming out. We heard a lot of cool things from Microsoft about what they're coming out with. So just lots of very, very cool pieces of technology. Some we're going to use, some we might not use, but it's good to know where the industry is going and where education is going in terms of using technology in the classroom.
What did you see that you liked?
Well, there's some really exciting stuff from Smart in terms of their online platform, the Smart Learning Suite online, that is going to totally change the way, it's not going to totally change the way teachers use Smart, but it's going to be a huge tool that I think teachers are going to love about what they're coming out with, and we already own it, so it's already something that we're going to be able to take back and use right away. Microsoft is going to be coming out with something very exciting with students with Minecraft that we might be able to take advantage of as well, so that's exciting. We did a very cool escape room that shows how you can integrate kind of very kinesthetic things to help engage students. So those are some of the things I saw that were very, very cool.
What's something you can do right away?
Well, I'm going to jump on the Smart Learning Suite and start playing around with their online tools and see how we can integrate that into our Smart trainings and use it with the Smart tools we already own and see how we can, without having to duplicate any effort, immediately take that back to the classroom.
So I saw a lot of stuff about personalized learning that was very interesting, showing how to get kids in touch with resources that are personalized to their educational plan. I saw some things on gamification and how to bring creativity back into education, and also giving kids kind of a chance to have some fun with learning and how that can benefit them by taking that learning fun home with them and, continuing their education at home.
So what do you think will be the first thing we take back and start to implement or talk to people about?
Well, I saw a lot of stuff with Nearpod. It's changing like every day, so they have some new gadgets in there that I think have a potential to have a huge educational impact on students. So I'm probably going to get back into Nearpod again and look at some of those things, and Safari Montage, and Office 365. I mean, they're really stepping up their game with the educational side of Microsoft. So.
Well, I saw a lot of technology, some things that we have been using, some things reinvented, and some new things. I didn't have an opportunity to go booth by booth, but a lot of neat ideas, a lot of good technology ideas, just a lot of things, period. So it was interesting.
So did you see anything or between that and our presentation this morning for Safari Montage that we take back and we get back to work on Monday to implement?
Well, the one thing I did notice in our presentation is it seemed like it went over well. A lot of people thought it was a really good idea because when you create it, you have your ideas internally and everybody thinks everything is great. But just to get an idea of how people view what we were doing as a whole really kind of encouraged me to keep pressing on. So I'm excited about the end result.
One of the coolest things they were excited about was the fact that we engaged our students in building our platform. So we're going to hear more on our personalized learning pathway. So Sarah, we learned a lot, and we want to be able to share that. What are some opportunities coming up for teachers here in Pinellas County to get some more information?
So we already had big plans for this summer for lots of training for our teachers, but FETC has sparked even more ideas for us. So we're definitely going to do our Building Your Digital Classroom training again. So teachers who are interested in learning more about using Class Notebook within Office 365 with their students will be able to come. If they already came last summer or they've done some training, that's okay. We hope to build on their level of understanding and implementing that great tool with their students. And we're able to pick the brains of the Microsoft MIE teachers, their master teachers there, to get some additional ideas for ours. We're also thinking of trying an ed camp of our own. We did a little mini one last summer, and we're hoping to do a Pinellas version of our ed camp as well.
Ed camp?
Ed camp, oh my gosh, it's the coolest concept. It's basically an unconference. So instead of us deciding what we think the teachers want to know about, the teachers get to come and tell us what they want to learn more about, and they actually get to be the presenters and share with their colleagues all of their knowledge, because I think we don't give teachers enough opportunity to show us what they know and what they're doing, and they, after all, are the experts in their classrooms. So I'm very excited about that one, and we hope to be able to open it up to a lot more people this summer as well.
So we're, at this point, getting ready to work with the rest of the teaching and learning department and get our big spreadsheet of all the summer learning available. And so if you want to know more about technology, you can contact Sarah.
Yes.
And or you can just even put in a tech ticket and direct it to us, and we'll get back with you because we have a few months before summer, but then really encourage people to take advantage of the summer opportunities. Sarah, thanks so much for coming in and talking with me today about our experiences at FETC, and hope that you will join us on our next episode of Digital Learning.